Alright guys, for the third game, I guess we're going to play first. I know there are a lot of people out there who like to see live commentary. I really don't like doing them, but every once in a while I'm going to try and throw them in for a third game here just so we can mix things up. Opening hand, I'm definitely going to keep, we're going to get a little acceleration off the Utopia Sprawl. 3 lands in hand, we have 2 options for return as well as 1 for draw. So usually with the Utopia Sprawl early game, you want to go with blue as your starter. Obviously, you know, the early play of a Skyfisher is going to be preferable to a familiar, but, you know, it's something that I think is really necessary just in hopes, at the very least, of drawing into a reality acid. Alright, probe coming down. I'm going to put this as one of 2 decks, being Delver or Eye Candy. And we'll see where it goes from here. Both could play a turn 1 Delver, so that wouldn't tell me anything. Ponder. Might be Eye Candy. Alright. That could be definitely a painful matchup, I think, because, you know, we've talked about how Reality Acid can really take 5 mana to get moving on the same turn. Alright. We're going to just tap out all here so I can F8 through it. But so in order to get through and Reality Acid as well as return in the same time, you need 5 mana. And if this is Eye Candy, that deck can get going pretty early, winning as early as turn 3. Well, second island, this might just be Delver. But Eye Candy I think would be hard because, you know, if you slow it down and try to just Reality Acid on 1 turn, there's a lot of opportunity for them to win on that turn. Okay, Delver coming down. Going to attack through just to give us a chance to maybe trade. He would probably be absolutely crazy to trade these Delver for my Visionary. I think then I'm going to go with Prism, so that when I put down this Forest, I can play the Skyfisher and return. Let's see. Does it matter? Oh, he's going to counter it. Okay. I don't think... I'm just trying to decide. I don't think it mattered what I returned there, Visionary or Prism, so I think maybe the play there would have been to return the Prism just so that the Visionary can stay on the board to attack. Okay, so with Force Spike, that tells me that this is basically either Delver or a mono-blue control. Brainstorm is a great opportunity here to flip that. Is going to show me another Force Spike. So that is something I'm going to have to watch out for. That means, obviously, my Reality Acid combo in the same turn is going to require a cost of, at the minimum, 6. Sorry, spacing off mid-game there. So play a Visionary, see if maybe we can't find something. Now I know at this point in time he has 4 spikes, so playing the Skyfisher is going to be a waste. Let's try, I'm going to just put out the Visionary. Hopefully maybe I can draw out the 4 spike. I would gladly trade the Visionary for the 4 spike. And that gives me at least 1 less counterspell that I have to face. Alright, let's see what he's got going on. Best thing for me at this point in time is if he does not draw any additional cards. Going to Ponder now. It's one of the good things you want to find against Delver and mono blue control in general. If you can keep their hand low, then you're going to be in a pretty good position. You want to watch out definitely for ninjas. That's going to be one of their best ways to refill their hand. So at the very least, it seems he found a 4th land. Really looking for a bit of extra help here in the form of Reality Acid. So we're going to attack through first, put down a Skyfisher. It's both good and bad at this point in time, I think, that I have all of my Skyfishers. It's good because they're a great creature, but at the same time it's bad because I'm basically wasting these opportunities to return Reality Acid by just playing them to be an aggressive player. But he doesn't counter the Skyfisher. Okay. Spell Pierce. Yeah, this is definitely a mono blue control. Doesn't count on the Skyfisher, and that's good for me because that at least gives me an opportunity to block out the flipped Delver and trade it, and I'm more than happy to make that trade. Obviously, I would love my Skyfisher to last very long, but it's going to be one of the few opportunities I have to kill it off without Reality Acid. So let's see what he has going on. See if... it's kind of an interesting thing when you play a mono blue control deck, because what they decide to use as far as their counter spells and stuff are concerned can be just a complete grab bag and can leave you a little bit unsure. Alright, so attacking here is going to be a waste, I think, because Visionaries, one will just die to the flip Delver. I attack through with the Skyfisher. I don't think I need to be passive just yet, but I do find myself in a situation here where I can't actually play any of these white cards. I can play the Stalker in return of Visionary. 3 mana available, plenty of opportunity for him to have a counterspell or an exclude. I think the excluded I would be a little bit more worried about. So we're going to return this, give me an opportunity to draw a card and hopefully find something to kind of fix up my mana base. No, looks like the counterspell is going to happen here. Okay, I guess that's a pretty good move on his part. The draw is definitely more important to him to counter. And this is where it starts, where maybe I should have been a little bit more passive on that and leave my Skyfisher back. Once your creatures are on the board, mono blue decks have a very hard time dealing with them. Alright, so now we're going to leave the Skyfisher back. Damn, another blue, or another white. Alright, we're just going to have to pass the turn here. Drake Familiar, not as fun as the others because it only, the ability is only return enchantment, whereas things like the Skyfisher are return permanent. Alright, end of turn, Pestermite, Skyfisher, yep. So he's going to swing through and hit me for 8. Ouch. This is going to be basically game over because with this kind of creature base he has built up, he's got way too many creatures I can't even block. I don't have the mana even to Reality Acid. If I draw Reality Acid here, I can play it, but I can't return it. So, it's a double-edged sword. I would finally get Reality Acid, but I would be unable to play it. Judging off of this game alone, I'm going to actually have to guess that this would have a very poor matchup against Delver. Just because of the fact, you do get some flyers with the Skyfisher and the Familiar, but if you don't get the Reality Acids going, then you're going to have a lot of trouble blocking these flyers. I think, other aggro decks on the ground are going to be easier for you to deal with because you do get the Stalkers. You could even chump block with things like the Visionaries and the Missionaries. And he's just going to let this happen because it's game. But I think, other things like, Goblins and Stompy would be significantly easier to deal with because of the fact that you do have a lot of ground blocking. But when it comes to blocking the air, if this was just a regular Delver, you would still have the Spire Golems, you would still have the Spellstutter Sprites, the flipped Delvers, and Cloud of Fairies that you would have to worry about, amongst other random things that can occasionally be worked in there. But there you go. Not much to really say on that one, I guess, because we didn't draw into a Reality Acid, and we could not find enough white mana to make any plays happen here. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the videos, and definitely take the deck for a test run.